Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to help the cause for Dudley John. I'm not sure if that's how I say his last name, honestly, but it's something like that. He has been accused a lot lately. By the way, who is Dudley, right? Dudley is the former co-worker of Donald Wells, is the one who worked with him for about 2 weeks before Summer went missing. So Dudley is very, very sick of being drugged through the. He's very sick of his name being drugged through the mud, and so he has been faced with there's just no decision but to fire back and tell his side of the story. So I wanted to do this with him in the most respectful way as possible, because he does not want any drama in his life. He doesn't want people contacting him. He doesn't want any more of this to affect his life more than it already has. His wife is also very tired of it because she's bullied online, people thinking that her husband has something to do with Summer's disappearance. And from my time speaking to them, just my opinion, and I could be wrong, but they seem like very decent people. And when I say decent, I mean they prefer a life that's normal, where they go to work, they pay their bills, they keep a clean house, they take care of their kids. That's the life that they choose for themselves. But it's ever since Donald Wells brought them into the mix of Summer's disappearance and trying to shift that blame and, I guess, pivot it onto Dudley, it's wrecked his life. For 3 months, he was out of work. For 3 months, he was down in the dumps, couldn't make ends meet. And to make matters worse, Donald Wells, in the end, ended up shorting him $1,500. So he's really, really tired of the attacks, but he's also really sick of the fact that his life can't just go back to normal. And it probably won't for quite a while. That's why I wanted to help them as a couple nip this right where we can without crowds and craziness and all that. I just want to put it out there as honestly as I understand it to be and tell their side of the story. So I'm going to be discussing that with you today. Don Wells and Dudley John, or A John, I don't know how to say the last name, they started working together about 2 weeks before Summer came up missing. The way Dudley described it to me is that Don started to noticeably sabotage him at the job site. And it would be things like how much mud to use. It would be like Don accusing him of stealing mud from him, to where he later finds in a shed that there's a bunch of old mud that's gone bad that Don was accusing him of taking, which didn't happen. It's things like that that really have left a bad taste in Dudley's mouth for Don. In addition to that, it's also the weird things that he would pick up about Don's drug use. Dudley insists that if he had to pass a drug test right now, he could. He says he smokes weed, and he has smoked weed with Don before, but he's not done the other drugs. And maybe in his past he did, but we didn't talk about that. But that's not his life right now. He's got kids. He has things to worry about. And he completely sees the flawed parenting and the dysfunctional lifestyle that Don and Candace have had. So for him, it's just, like I said, it's about telling it like it is, giving his side of the story. But from the get-go, he noticed these weird things. Another thing that you will hear in this recording is that Don tries to tell Dudley, I guess, about these dreams he had been having, where I guess he goes on like a rampage and he beats his kids and he goes to prison forever. But in that same sentence, when he was telling me about that particular experience, it was odd because he then tossed out Rose Bly's name, and Rose is Candace's sister, who has been missing for like 11 years now. So you'll hear that part. It kind of confused me for a minute. I interpreted it for a moment like, wait. Hold on. Don is saying he's going to go to prison forever because of Rose, you know? And so I think I misinterpreted that. So when you hear that part, what do you think? You know, you guys let me know what you think, because the way I interpreted it at first was like, wait, what's going on here? So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing that you will see is that he noticed upon picking up his paycheck after the first week and going up to Candace's, and he took his wife up, you know, I can't say going up to Candace, going up to their home when he first observed Candace and when his wife first observed Candace. He said that stuff was crazy around there, that Don didn't really care about the livelihood of his kids because of the dangerous. They were running around on, there's a name for it, I can't, I was kind of freaked out by her, by the wife, Candace. She felt like there was something seriously wrong with these people. And I think more than anything, it's probably the rampant drug use causes them to, you know, not care for their home, not care for the kids. They said that the kids were just like running around like wild, you know, animals, no clothes on and stuff. And then she even said, she goes, and I understand being in an isolated place like that maybe you're gonna run around like that, right? But still, with your daughters, in this case, the Summer's head was shaved and she had like almost no clothes on. In fact, when it came up later where they were reflecting back to having seen Summer together, the wife of Dudley, she said, I didn't even know that that was a girl. And so it goes to show that from the get-go, it feels like they gave out the wrong description for the child, because it might be like, maybe, you know, be harder to find her. I don't know. And that they should have never released that picture of her they should have never released that picture of her where she's got her longer hair, I think it was the Christmas picture that they released, if I'm not mistaken. So it didn't line up for them either. Anyway, without further ado, I will go ahead and release some of this audio now. And as I hear stuff, we can stop and discuss it, or I'll discuss it, since this is actually not live. You are seeing a recorded broadcast. I felt like it would be easier. Again, I want to avert any sort of drama. That is not what they want. It's not what they need. There doesn't need to be some showdown with Donald Wells. It needs to be done in a respectful and a very dignified manner, in my opinion, because this is serious. We're talking about people's lives here. And yes, Don and Candace have a missing child, but has their behavior shown that they are the grieving parents of a missing child? That's another question you have to ask yourself, because I know it's a polarizing topic to even say that Candace and Don could be guilty, but taking a microscopic view of their behavior, the way that during a time where their daughter's missing, that they could even play games, that they could even do these pranks, that doesn't make sense to anybody. And of course, you look at these other missing cases of kids. The mother of Michael Vaughn, she doesn't have time to play games. she's worried about her son. So, just an example, I'm not saying that the parents are guilty. It is my firm belief that stuff doesn't add up, but I think everybody feels that more or less. But it's not my job here to be the jury. I'm just showing one side of it. In a way, I'm representing the side of Dudley today because I think it's unfair how he's been drugged through the mud. And how I first got in touch with Dudley was because Donna had been in touch with his wife for some time, and they had tried to set up some times to, interview. And 2 different times there was a scheduling conflict, so it didn't pan out. And from there, Donna kept encouraging me, and this was like a couple months ago, and she said, just give him a call. And there was chaos going on in my life at the time. I was like, I just got to wait, we'll give it time. And then the more I heard Don attack him, like, I don't know, almost a week ago, that's when I was like, whoa, this isn't okay. And so I asked for the number and I reached out. So let's go ahead. Let's get started.
Don's covering up that I know. That you know, like about Summer, you're saying? That I know of the facts. And his story was elaborate and his story lied on. He didn't have it today. He's right with times. He accused me of writing things on the wall that a meth head would do, and then turned around and admitted that he wrote this shit on the wall of what a meth head does. Oh, yeah, I heard that. Now that I think about it. You go back to June, and he said I wrote all that shit, and I destroyed the house, and I did not. Yeah. We cleaned the house up, and he fired me. Yeah. So from then on, he destroyed the house, made it look bad, and then wrote all that shit on the walls and made it that I did it. Oh, so he'd already lied to himself, and he didn't stroke that truth out. He didn't write it himself out. I'm the trip. He just spoke the truth. Well, that's so unfair, too. Did you keep in touch with them any after Summer went missing? Or did he just badmouth you? Yeah. I got my check with my money from him. He come paid me. He shorted me money, of course. We were supposed to make close to $1,800 that week, and I think I got $300. What? So, yeah. And in return, I'm asking him. My neighbor was outside videoing it because I didn't trust it. So I'm asking him how's Summer, and he looked at me like I should have never asked that question. Oh. Like I was the devil. You know what I mean? When really he's the devil. Yeah. They know what happened. And yeah. I can't say what happened, but they're trying to throw me in a mix. I wasn't there 2 weeks prior to this kid coming up missing. So you hadn't you hadn't really known him long enough. Is that what you tell me? I knew him back in the day when we subbed against each other. Yeah. But I knew he was a big cokehead and a big crackhead. Mess with him. Yes. But he stole a bunch of stuff from Tucker, the guy that we worked for, and he works for now, and pawned all this shit, and they ended up making pay it back if he wanted to come to work. Me personally, I don't know why he's still working there or how he still have him working there. Right. He has some good shit to keep him in that, because I lost my job with him. That was the best job I had out here. So, egged them for a couple of weeks before Don fired me to please let me go somewhere. I even asked him 3 or 4 times, hey, this guy's really giving me a hard time. Is it okay if I whip his ass? Yeah. I'm tired of hearing this shit. He's bipolar, schizophrenic. I mean, the first 2 days I was there, he house and he couldn't be there. That made a big red flag come up to me. I mean, he had a microwave oven in the house. I mean, a little cooler. He was set up to stay there all night.
Oh
I was like, this is wild. What was this dude into? And that was the second day I was there. It freaked me out.
Okay, so we'll stop right there for a minute. So what he's saying in this clip is that the second day he was working, so the second day into his time working with Don, he had come to the job site, and that there was, that Don was set up there with all the, you know, I guess, should we call them luxuries, right? Their means to cook your food, at this job site so that he could stay into the night because Don knew that Child Services was coming to his home there in Rogersville. So he was purposely staying away from the home, according to Dudley. So let's carry on.
So he knew that Child Services was coming to his home, and he had his stuff set up.
First week I worked with him. Yeah. I don't know, like something ain't right. And Don made me look horrible. Okay. He told him I was stealing mud when he told me to put the mud in my storage unit. And when I went to his house, he had pallets of mud there that had been sitting out for 2 years in the winter, and it was no good. So when he said yesterday about me complaining about mud, people putting stuff in my mud, no, it was him trying to use bad material that he stole from Tucker and was trying to put it in with the new mud, and it was creating mold in the houses. And I just didn't like it. You know, it was not the way Tucker done. And Tucker Drywall, we were supposed to do 4 coats, and he was telling me to lie and say we only did 4 coats when we were only doing 2 coats. So when I went to Tucker told me he was doing 1 house a month if he was lucky.
Yeah.
Well, when I went, he was doing averaging 2 to 4 houses a week.
Yeah.
Big time money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And it wasn't because of him. I was putting 4 buckets of mud onto his 1 bucket. So what does that tell you?
Right.
I think you might have been timing, and like my work looked better in the first coat than his. So he got his panties.
I'm sure he did.
And he started cutting up roads. He ruined my damn job. And I didn't have work for 3 months. I was devastated. I felt like a piece of shit.
Oh.
But there wasn't nothing I could do. I went to Tucker for 3 different times, and he totally pushed me off because they believed Don. Don's a damn compulsive liar. He's bipolar, schizophrenic.
Yeah.
This dude would tell me to do something and then chew me out for doing what he told me to do.
Yeah.
And then he was so lying to the company, not giving 4 coats. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And only doing 2. Yell at me for doing touch-ups, for trying to make things look better, and he was telling them that I wasn't listening. But if they had known that he was only doing 2 coats, I didn't say nothing until he asked me. When he asked me, that's when I said, Jesse, we never put 4 coats on anything. But I was lying. I don't know. So I ain't messing with Tucker no more. They can have his ass. All I did was upgrade. I got a better job every time I left there. So it just took, a while to get people that didn't know Don that was bashing me, trying to get me fired everywhere I went. But now I got somebody I worked for that knew me 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that knew me because you're still the same guy. So these guys just can't handle that fast city life. And when you own your own business for 18 years, you don't work by the hour, you work by the job. So that's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
I go to work. These guys need dope to make them work.
Right.
You know, I don't need dope to work, but they all want to call me a meth head and a junkie, and these are the ones that got junkie marks and needle marks on them and look like meth heads. We was selling on a job at 11 years old. I said, Don, that's crazy.
Are you serious?
Okay, in case you didn't hear that, right here, Dudley says that Don would smoke weed with his son, his 11-year-old son, on the job. So if that's any indication, the lack of concern he has for his kid's livelihood. Can't think of what's worse. Well, I guess there's a few things worse than that, but that's pretty bad. That's pretty low. Carry on.
Dude, I don't know you like that, Claire. I don't mess around. So,
Oh my
I
gosh.
feel bad. We smoke weed together. You know?
Oh
He
wow.
wants to tell me about that, but he failed to mention that we smoke weed together.
Yeah.
He smoked with his kids. I have nothing to lie about, but I didn't do no math.
No.
I'm not what he says I am, and I'll take a drug test.
Right.
But I don't.
So right there, he doubles down on, I'm not what they say I am. I'll take a drug test. So here's Don saying constantly, this is a meth head. He's on this and this and this. And Dudley said, you got me all wrong. I'll take a drug test right now. It's not what I do. So, interesting.
I've been cleared from EBI and TBI and all that. He's the one that's trying to send to me. I just don't want no problems with my family and my wife and my son out here. If they have problems, I will go to jail.
I know.
And that's going to be this asshole wants to send people out here when he's really the one that knows what happened to his daughter. And his wife is crazy. She scared the shit out of me the first time I seen her. He run out the house. It was Candace.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you I hate fucking kids?
She said that?
I swear, if I'm lying, God strike me dead. I couldn't believe it. I had to get away from her. She is definitely a handful. Made her probably because she is a mess. Richard Tucker.
Yeah.
Richard loved me. Jesse didn't care for me.
Yeah.
But Jesse was a spoiled ride kid that had a business handed over to him, and he wanted to bring a bunch of Mexicans in and get cheaper labor. His dad wanted quality work, so
right.
Got to the quality side, and the rest of them stayed on how to. When Jesse took over, they started cutting corners, cutting prices, so everybody was trying to cut corners on labor. But when the dad was running the business.
Do you think it's possible that did Don ever talk about sex trafficking? A lot of people think that could have been what happened.
These shit to me, before this shit happened, he's telling me about the bad dreams he was having and going to prison for a long time. And I was like, well, why are you having them dreams? And he tells me, well, he said, I went in the house and I beat the shit out of my kids and they wouldn't listen. And I was like, golly, Don, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I said, you got to talk to them. You got to put them in a schedule and a routine.
Yeah.
They would scream, cuss them out, and horrible parents. Straight up, him and his wife is piece of shit parents.
Yes.
That place is a shithole. I
Yes.
took my wife there twice. She said they'll never take me back there again. His wife was that's like she's ready to kill you. One time, because Don would drive 90 miles an hour everywhere we went, and my vehicle was running bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I needed EV joint, a damn drive shaft.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be damned. For 2 weeks, he was sending me on goose chases. He was driving so crazy. You got 100 yards from a stop sign. He was going to speed up, go around this old lady just to get to the stop sign.
Wow.
Who does that?
What was the purpose? What do you think the purpose of that was?
I don't know. To lose me, I guess.
Okay.
I thought he was going to lose me. Because he didn't want me to find the job.
Okay.
He had some really funky games with him. He made me go to a job on a Sunday, okay, on a damn Sunday.
Yeah.
You don't work on Sundays.
Right.
This guy wants me to work on Sundays because of his religion he was in, okay?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and made me go all the way to damn Churchill and Hard Lane. Well, not Hard Lane. What they call that place? Huh? Yes, Nor Run. Yep, and look, woman, this took me forever to find this place. When I got out there,
I thought it was funny how he called me woman. Look, woman.
And damn did the work, never called me, and left my shit out there in the garage.
Oh my
And
God.
I was supposed to go there and help him. So then we were supposed to go to another job in Chucky after. Guess what? I spent the first 3 hours trying to figure out what the hell happened, where my tools was. I went to his house, and his wife's telling me, well, you need to catch him on FaceTime. I heard something sounded so fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, dude? Did you forget I was supposed to meet you there? And he's like, well, you never showed up. I said, bullshit, I was there. I said, the damn job was done. Looked like you did the night before.
So right here, he's saying that Don would do things purposely to sabotage Dudley. So there would be an agreed upon location where they're supposed to meet, and Don would purposely route him the wrong way to a different location just so that Don could sneak in, do the work by himself, and then say that Dudley never showed up, which is really not nice.
That's the stupid shit he did to me, and it drove me nuts, man. I used to drive my wife crazy talking about that guy. He just blew my mind with the shit he did. It's big time issues.
You know,
He's definitely.
it sounds, when you tell me these stories, it honestly sounds like he was intentionally trying to throw you off his trail. He was jealous of you. And
I was ruining his
reputation.
time.
Yeah.
Freedom that he had a job where he would get fucked up, you know?
Exactly.
And his wife.
Yeah.
Why was he taking a month to do a job when me and him was doing 2 or 3 a week?
Now, I do feel I should remind everybody watching this that, of course, there's 2 sides to the story. So this is just Dudley's side. This is the side he told me. Based on the information he gave me is how I formed my opinion. Doesn't, remember, there's always 3 sides, right? There's the side of one of the people, the other person, and then there's the truth. Based on the character, what do I want to call them? The character defects of, sorry to say, Don and Candace, I kind of get the feeling that Dudley is probably telling the truth here. Again, could he fool me? Sure, anything's possible. I'm just telling you the impression I got was that he wants to live an honest life, and he was intentionally derailed by Don and basically sabotaged numerous times while working for him. He felt that it was because where Dudley had come from was a part of Louisiana. And he said that there you get paid by the job. You don't get paid by the hour. Now, what Don's used to is getting paid by the hour, so that he would drag out these jobs, right? So that he would be making every day a consistent amount of money. It's a reliable income. But in the end, you make more money by the job. And he said, Dudley told me that when he was working with Don, and he was, assisting him, that they were getting done, like, I think it was 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 houses in a week, which was unusual. So it was making the productivity of the other guys look bad, because now they're starting to pick up the pace on these jobs. So anyway, just to give you a little sidebar there.
Exactly.
That's what told me. It takes a long time. I said, but I think he needs help. And I went in there and they started bragging on us. Like I said, I was putting 5 buckets on his one bucket. So
yeah, I think he was trying to disparage your name because you were making him look bad because you work better than him.
He told me this is all he knows to do in his life is finish drywall. He knew I was multitasking. I could remodel the whole house. So it was he was threatened by that, and I get that a lot out here in Tennessee. I'm just used to working myself for 18 years. I never worked by y'all. We work by the job, contract. You know what I mean? And he doesn't realize that. And he's a subcontractor. That's how he's supposed to work. He gets paid when the job is done. He wasn't an hourly man. Either one of us work.
Yeah.
So, he's a shit, man. He's something else. You know, I've got face to face with him, but I doubt it'd be good.
I know.
You know, I think about when he screamed at me and yelled at me in front of the contractors and made me look like a piece of shit, and I had to bite my tongue because I knew that if I did, Jesse was going to fire me.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I was his partner. I didn't go in there and make him look, and I was going there working.
I know.
He should have worked the same way I did. He was the one that was sitting on a damn toilet the day that he fired me, staring at his phone like he lost something in his life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was on a Saturday, a Monday.
Did you guys catch that? Right there, he said that the day before Summer came up missing, which I guess would have been the last day that he worked for Tucker, drywalling, that Don was sitting on the toilet. Dudley walked in, and it looked, Don staring at his phone, and he's looking at his screen as if something terrible had just happened. Like he looked, I don't know, desperate, sad, very concerned, worried. So he had, from his perception, from Dudley's perception, he had seen maybe something that made him concerned, right? Don wasn't acting right, in other words.
That's when I got fired. You know, and I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You look like you lost your best friend. You know what I mean? And I believe that's when something happened to Summer was when she was at that swimming hole. The shit I've read.
Yeah.
She still looked like a blue baby in the damn backseat bleeding on the milk.
I know. People say they've tried that experiment now, having their kids lay their head on cold milk. And supposedly, I guess, cold milk, kids can still sleep through it. I've never tried it.
She loved to come by me, you know what I mean? But he would have them in the house on 2 stories walking on a walkboard. You know what I mean? That little girl could have got fallen off and got killed there.
I wonder if, and I should have clarified this, I wonder if walkboard means scaffolding. It probably does, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's known as a different term there where he's from, you know, in Louisiana.
I'm saying he didn't care. He was so careless with his kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're walking around smoking a joint with your son at 11 years old, what the fuck?
Oh, I know.
Excuse me. But God damn.
I know.
Job site. Roaches in the window, so he could make me look bad like I did. But he never once mentioned that we smoked weed together. But he wants to call me a meth head. We ain't never done none of that together.
Yeah.
No, he did, because I could tell the way he'd leave for 20 minutes, come back, and he was zoom, zoom, zoom. He's a damn meth head, and he's a damn alcoholic. If he ain't got alcohol or meth, he smokes weed every day. He does anything he can get his hands on. I had to smoke weed to tolerate this motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
Where you was with him? I had to smoke it to tolerate being around this asshole because he was such a dick.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I mean, I would never vote for him again, and I would piss on him if he was on fire, to be honest.
That one always makes me laugh. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I'm sorry. That one makes me laugh, though.
Every time I run my wife there, she never wanted to go there again. The kids run out the damn house in underwear.
Oh, it sounds...
Like with a water ring shade in their head. I said, what the fuck? It really just pisses me off that nobody knows the real side of Don Wells.
Well, you know, I think I think people see it. It seems like he has this side of him that's very charming, and he can be real polite, and then he's got this evil side that's very mean and violent.
He's a hurtful, wrongful person. He beats his kid. I mean, he beats his wife. He puts fear in him. You know, he blames it on alcohol, but the motherfucker's high. For smashing, for ruining my damn life. He ripped me off for $1,500.
Oh my God.
I don't have no lights. I'm his worst nightmare. He will not come around me.
Oh.
If I thought for 1 second I knew the person that messed with my kid, the cops would have to get me out of it. I would be going after the body. Yeah, I have 3 kids, and my wife has 2 kids, and I'll tell you now, if anybody messes with our kids, they're going to have hell to pay with me. I wouldn't hurt a kid. I love kids.
Same here.
I mean, I just get it.
What do you guys hear when you hear him say that? Do you feel that what he's saying is genuine? Because I did, but we all are gonna form our own opinions. I'm just curious to know what you guys think as you hear this. Carry on.
I don't understand it, but that I thought about the sister-in-law.
Yes.
It really started making me think about the sick dreams this dude would tell me he was having. A week to 2 weeks prior to this kid coming up missing.
With the sister-in-law? Say that again. Are you saying with his sister-in-law or stepsister or?
Yeah, Candace's sister.
He was having dreams?
Huh?
He was having dreams about her?
No, he was having dreams about going to prison for doing something really bad.
To her?
Okay, crazy dude. Walking in the house, beating the shit out of his kids because they didn't clean the house. What's wrong with your fucking wife? It was summer vacation.
Oh my God.
They drove them kids. They treated those kids like a bunch of fucking Snow Whites or Cinderella, whatever it was. That's how they treated them kids. It was horrible. Piece of shit parents. I think about everything. It sounds legit. Like she's the one that shaved that little girl's hair.
I know.
You know?
Right, which is a lot.
Hair.
Right.
Maybe they did have one. Maybe they were lazy and didn't want to clean their kid's head.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt they had life ticks and damn deer ticks.
Do you?
Well on the stairs. When I said the little girl went down there, she could have fallen that shit died.
I know a lot of.
She could have died in the swimming hole when they said the little boy said she had trouble swimming. And she said no, she didn't. I mean, it's like cover up for cover up. But you can't get the straight answer because they're all hiding something from each other. They all got something on each other.
I know. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy too is that it's verified pretty much from some CPS documents. From the DCS, the people who are going to take the kids, that Candace was having a relationship with Hunter.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. There was no reason for that kid to be over there. The kid wasn't at all. But
Did you ever meet the grandma?
Yeah. She didn't like Don.
Right.
He couldn't stand.
So now we're talking about grandma. I had asked, have you ever met Grandma Candace? And if so, what was your interpretation? What was your feeling on her?
Mm-hmm.
He might have been all right, but every time they would come to the job site, because they would always come to the job site, they'd be fighting like crazy. Don and his old lady. And he'd have to tell his mother-in-law, shut that fuck up.
Oh man.
I was like, he just don't know how to talk to women, though. He's one of those people that think women don't have say-sos.
Yes, a misogynist.
Huh?
He's a chauvinist, a misogynist type who doesn't think women have any say.
No, he don't. He's a piece of shit.
I'm still interested about this part where you said that he was having dreams about him.
So here I am, I'm trying to clarify. What did he mean? He dropped sister-in-law's name in the same pretty much sentence as Don was having dreams about going to prison for life. So here I was trying to clear that up. So I think I misinterpreted it, but again, I still don't altogether know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there to hear what Don was trying to convey to Dudley when he told him about these dreams he was having. All I know is that he said that he was dreaming, Don was dreaming that he was going to prison for life, that he had beaten up his kids, and the rest I'm just a little bit unclear about, but we'll listen to it right now.
his sister-in-law before Summer ever came up missing. That's the part that trips my trigger. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, he would have these crazy dreams. He would tell me about going to prison for a long time for doing a bad thing. I was like, well, what did you do? And he's like, I was beating the shit out of my kids. I hit them too hard. I mean, this was before Summer come up missing, so.
And the sister, Candace's sister, he would mention her in that same, like, where he's talking about it.
On her ass, and they probably killed her.
I think so too, because how are two people?
Again, this is only my opinion. Don't let this influence you. Only my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. But that is how I feel. I felt that since almost day one, with the exception of, there was a moment, I would say maybe a day or two, where I started to think, well, maybe they're innocent. Excuse me. There was just a brief moment of time where I really felt that, and then I kind of got real with the story. It didn't add up, and then there were just certain things that happened that made me even more suspicious of the overall story. But again, we don't know what happened to Summer. We're just trying to put all the things, the facts that we can find out on the table and weigh the evidence, just in our opinion, in the court of people's opinion. Overall, though, this is up to law enforcement. We're not going to solve this. It's not our job. But we do take part in discussing it online, and that's why I'm even taking the time to go over this right now, because we are searching for answers. Anyway, here we go.
People from the same family missing. That's bizarre.
Nobody knows nothing on his sister. I bet you any money if they did kill her, I bet you the baby is buried by the sister.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
You never know.
Right. Yeah, you never know. I think those kids are so much better off without them.
They don't deserve them.
No, they don't. I can't believe that about the oldest boy smoking weed with his dad at 11. That's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. I can't believe that when
Yeah.
my husband had told me that. I said, are you kidding me? But yeah, I mean, it was every day. But, I am interested about your day, your work. I said, but I'm sorry. I can't listen about no more on.
Yeah. I bet you got so tired of hearing about him, huh?
Because he would come home and he was just so stressed out. He's like, God tells me to do one thing, and he gets mad and he yells at me because he forgets that he told me to do something else and blah, blah, this and that.
Not going there, he's going somewhere else, and then just trying to cut me out of my money.
Yes.
And he got me good in the last one.
Yes. He was making an excuse for taking money from you, is what I think, not paying you the full amount.
Right before his daughter comes up missing and throws me in like as if I did to get my money.
I personally feel like the way that went down, I feel like that he just wanted my husband out of the way.
Because I was covering, he couldn't do the shit he wanted to do that he was hiding when he told me to take the money and put it in my building.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, all that shit back. I said, don't ever ask me to bring nothing again.
Yeah. It was an effort to frame you, I think. That's what that was.
Well, he was framing me to get me kicked out because that's all he had over there. If he didn't work for Tucker, he wouldn't have a job nowhere around here.
And
No.
he knew that one of our cars was messing up with the drive shaft and shit. He knew that,
Yeah.
because he wanted to plug it off.
Because I didn't want to be broke down somewhere.
And then Dawn doesn't like that, that his alibi, that is the truth,
Yes.
He took the stuff out, had it repaired, and then he put it back with it, and he comes around and says that, well, that's what a meth head does, is just come around on your vehicle all day. He knew that the vehicle was, messing up. he was working and I worked too, and our son had ball games during that time, and I would have to be a certain place whenever he did or come home, or he would take our other car to work and stuff, but he knew that the car was messed up, but then he wants to play off that's his alibi, that's what a meth head does, is a paint on your car, and so, whatever his words, I can't quote his words word for word.
Yeah.
In that last song, you're painting the undercut or whatever, this and that.
Undercoating my car.
Yeah. But, we like to have, clean, nice things,
Yes.
We don't live in a we keep a clean home,
Right.
clean vehicle,
Yeah.
and it's just that his lifestyle and our lifestyle was completely different, and I've been honest living, and
Yeah.
I told you that he had his own business for 18 years, and he's used to working to get.
Oh yeah, that's another point. They told me that when I think they lived back, if it was Louisiana, I think, that Dudley had his own business for 18 years, so he was used to doing his own thing. And the biggest, I think, conflict for him since moving to Tennessee is that he notices a difference in the work ethic. So, just another thing that they talked about.
The job done and not riding the clock and working by the hour.
Yeah.
That'll work by the hour.
So just because you can outwork someone doesn't mean that you're on drugs.
Right.
My husband weighs what man said weighs 200 pounds.
Good point. Right.
Well, like I said, I worked myself for 18 years. I got paid by the job, and he would lag and try to make it take more time, and he's I can't stand him.
I know. I feel so bad for what he's done to you guys. It's not fair. It's not right.
Not fair, because, I get, people say, I've seen this video, blah, 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 they're mentioning your husband, blah, 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 and
Yeah.
I get tired, and
Yeah, they're pulling you into it. You guys don't belong involved. Yeah, you don't belong involved. You guys sound like very, very good people. And Candace and Dawn are not good people at all. They're not your caliber.
yeah, I went there one time at their home to pick up his money for the week.
Yeah.
And of course, I was being where I got on a vehicle, and he was taking me up in that hall, and I was like, "Where are we going?" I was like, "This looks like a horror movie." And then I see her sitting on a bicycle, and she was completely sweaty and stuff, and her eyes looked so dark.
Oh.
And I'm like, "Please, let's just go." We went there no more than 10, 15 minutes max. I counted his money. I was like, "Please count it to verify it. Let's go."
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. You didn't feel comfortable, did you, Miss Linda?
Not at all. Not at all. I've been rolling my window up. I barely had it cracked, and the kids came out. They were all in their underwear dirty.
They're running off of a damn walkboard on his house because he couldn't put a pair of stairs.
Oh, my God.
Running down a walkboard in their drawers. The girl didn't even have a shirt on.
Yeah,
With a bald head.
and Ray pointed that out to me, which I hope my husband goes by Ray. I don't even call him Dudley, but
Oh, okay.
so I call him Ray.
Okay.
So Ray was like, he pointed him out. Well, his middle name's Raymond, so we go by Ray.
Okay.
So he pointed Summer out to me. He's like, "That was a little girl." I said, "You are kidding me."
Yes.
And like, he was in her underwear. She was a little boy. And whenever we first met up with Washington County,
Yeah.
we both and said, "You need to go back and change that picture of that little girl in that red shirt. That's not what she looks like."
Exactly.
The little girl I saw looks like a boy.
Yes.
She has a fun haircut. So they lied from the beginning of what she looks like.
Yes.
I mean, like, why would you not really look like up there if you're going to try to hide something?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I know they got that little country living, and they're going to play out dirty, but still, yeah, she's a little girl, at least put a shirt on her.
Oh, I know. All right, they didn't even have sheets on the bed for the children. I just can't imagine not taking care of my children properly. I've got kids of my own. I can't imagine this.
Oh, I can imagine living like that.
No.
I mean, making good money, there is no reason for it. You know,
Yeah.
there's no reason why they're comfortable.
Oh, and also, I feel like their story corroborates a little bit of what Jody Sue has said before and how much money she figured Dawn was making. I think I've heard Jody Sue say something like $1,500 or $2,000 a week. That's what kind of money they're used to actually earning. So for me, that corroborated what she had said.
We had a clean home for those children. I never went inside the house like that.
Oh, and that there would be no excuse to not have these bare necessities, these things that we should not deprive our kids of. Just hygiene alone, right? You should have a made bed for your children. You should have 3+ meals a day for your kids, for their development. Take them to regular doctor's appointments and dentist appointments, and allow them to form friendships and play sports. And, you know, all this stuff matters for when you're rearing a child. And I feel like that none of that mattered from everything we've ever heard about Dawn and Candace, that none of that mattered. And that's why I feel little Summer, she never had a chance. She never had a chance. And that's what's really the most tragic part of all. But see, these boys, these sons of theirs, they have a second chance. And they could change, you know, and become these incredible, not that they're not incredible now, but they could overcome these hard parts of their childhood that have so damaged them to the core and make great lives for themselves. But my concern is that Summer will never have that opportunity. And I hate to lose hope, but it's been 6 months and nothing yet. We're going to finish this up here in just a second. I can hear my family coming home. It's going to get loud.
I never got out of the vehicle. Neither did my husband that day, you know.
Smart.
Like, I don't want to get people, but that's one woman I wouldn't want to mess with.
No, me neither. She's a bulldog. She is meaner than a snake. Yeah, they can be very evil people. That's why it doesn't surprise me if possibly they were involved in the sister's disappearance. That doesn't surprise me.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's what I said too. That's what I told her after. They are evil. I said, so much evil in her. I see no good in her.
Oh yeah. Now the TBI, I assume they thoroughly interviewed you, right, Ray?
Yes, they did. I'm sorry, yeah, the TBI interviewed him.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he talked to Washington County and the TBI.
Okay.
I was only with him when we talked to Washington County because I was at work whenever, you know, they came around and talked to him. And
Yeah.
I talked to all of City, Rapid City.
Yeah.
Big police.
Wow. Did you get the impression they're not believing his story also, Ray? Did you get the impression that law enforcement is not believing their story either?
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do, though?
I know.
They know where that kid is, and all they're doing is giving them enough time to hang themselves, and they're going to write themselves out.
I think so, too.
Like he did with the damn writing on the walls. He said he swore I did all that, but then he admitted yesterday that he did it.
I heard that his last phone call with Andrea or whoever.
Yeah, Andra.
I
Yep.
was like, I said, honey, you got to listen to this. He said, no, I don't want to hear. I said, no, I want you to hear this for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I said, he is once again blaming you, saying that you need to be investigated, blah, blah, this and that. And I was like, and man knows you were nowhere around. You know, he was no longer working with you from the day before.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's like he has it's like a personal thing between Dawn and Ray.
Right.
Not really with my husband, but it's like with Dawn, it's like he has this personal grudge or want to get out on him, you know?
Yeah. To me it sounds like he was jealous of your husband's work ethic. That's what I think. Because why is he trying to say so much mean stuff, right?
Yeah. And I even told my husband that, because he's from Louisiana, I said, people out here don't work like how you are used to working. It's hourly pay. You got a lot of people that want to ride the clock. I said, you want to work and bust your butt and get the job done, because you know that once the job is done, you get paid and you move on to the next project, you know?
Yes.
And I said, a lot of people out of here do feel intimidated by that.
Yeah. It makes them look bad.
Yeah. I said it's just that they're looking at it as their job security. They need to push you out the door so they can continue to lie and do whatever, you know.
I actually have a friend who has a similar effect on people. She and I went to culinary school together in Hawaii, and she was such the best worker, so diligent, not only with her studies, but then with anything we had to do in our kitchens. It was like she was always the first to do it. She just was a shining star. We were the only two females in the whole class, so we were destined to be friends because we were all that we actually had. But where this relates is I think that when you outshine somebody, there's a jealousy that can take root. And in this particular case, I think it's possible, and I could be totally wrong. I think it's possible that maybe from the get-go, Don thought that he was being outshined by him. If it's true that he really does work very hard, and that they did start going through, 2-3 houses a week versus 1 or 2 a month, then there was a jealousy aspect there because it was making Don look bad. So in the end, the part that I haven't told you yet, I don't think, it's hard to remember back, but I want to tell you kind of the timeline of Dudley and how it all happened for him with this investigation and stuff. So on June 15th, Summer comes up missing. It was the day before that he was fired. So I guess late, Tuesday night, early into Wednesday morning, Don told law enforcement that Dudley was the person to blame, the perpetrator. So law enforcement went over to Dudley's father's house because his father is a senior, he is a junior, and that was another bone he had to pick over that situation, was because Don knew that Dudley's dad lived in Churchill, and Don knew that Dudley Jr., who was the person he was blaming, actually lived in Virginia. And so Don sent law enforcement to his dad's house in Churchill. So his dad ends up, I guess, answering the door, or whether it was a phone call, I can't remember. And the next day, he gets a call. Dudley gets a call from his dad saying, hey, son, are you okay? Are you in some sort of trouble? And he didn't know what was going on. But from there, he was passed the phone number he was passed over the phone number to that specific, I think it was Hawkins County, or maybe it was TBI. It could have been TBI. And then Dudley ended up speaking to that law enforcement agency. From there, he ended up, in that interview process is when he found out that Summer was missing. That would have probably been on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, she came up missing on Tuesday night. So it would have been on Wednesday that he found out, because first they had the wrong guy. They got they contacted his dad instead. Anyway, long story short, From there, Don screwed him over with money. He was supposed to pay him $1,800. And I think it was Thursday or Friday when Don and Dudley met up over at Dudley's house. Dudley actually had his neighbor filming this just in case Don was going to get fresh with him. I don't believe that part ended up happening. Like there wasn't a major squabble or anything that happened. But kitty cat. Hello, Chloe. So now I'm all derailed. Okay, so from there, $1,800 was what he was owed. Don did not pay him that. He only paid him $300. Dudley was really upset about that. And he felt that actually the reason Don was pointing the finger at him was so that he could short him. Don could short Dudley out of the money that he owed him. And if he ends up going to jail for Summer's disappearance, then even better yet, he wouldn't have to pay him the money he owes him. So Dudley's done with him. He's very upset. He feels slighted. His name, of course, like I said, has been dragged through the mud. It's unfair what's happened. And again, I disclose this, there are two sides to every story. This is the story I was told. I'm basing my opinion off of what they told me as a couple. So, I'll go ahead and leave it there. This was the meat and potatoes of the interview. The rest of it's kind of just speculation and stuff like that, which I think we all have that anyway. We all speculate. So it's not the most important parts, but what you heard was the important parts. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching this. Please, let's help keep this drama to a minimum. They don't deserve this. They're just trying to live their lives and pick up the pieces from my observation. And hopefully little Summer will be found. It'll be good to have some sort of a conclusion to all of this, just to know what happened. Anyway, take care. Have a great day. And a good rest of your weekend. Bye.
I think Sweetie Pablo is just great. I think she is just one of the best people out there. When I put this video up, 100% credit to her. Nothing for myself, 100% to her.